than friends, less than lovers, pals. Oh, yeah.
What a day.
What a day. Ooh, clocking out. See you later, boys. Good night.
It's 10:30 in the morning. You're like, you're clocking out. I've been here 14 hours.
16 hours.
17, 18.
Hell, I've been here 48 hours sometimes.
I sleep here.
Yeah.
I chill here. And that's because even when I'm not working, I'm still
Working.
Because
here's one thing about me. I'm a working man.
Working man. If there's work, I'm there and I'm working it.
And I'm a man.
So that's just kind of like where you should have your
That's our Letterboxd
headspace.
review for Working Man, the Jason Statham movie, which,
as you could maybe surmise, impacted us fairly heavily.
now, if you're like, I've never heard of that movie, neither had we until a week ago.
Yeah. The first thing we saw was a billboard that said, it was a picture of Statham wielding some type of thing, and it said, "Human traffickers beware."
Now, I think it said he's a working man.
Well, I'm so sorry. One said he was a working man. The very first one we saw, and then the second one we saw, you had read it out loud. You were like, "That billboard just says human traffickers beware." But then we looked up, and it was the poster for Working Man, Jason Statham movie. But we're not talking about Jason just yet.
No, we'll get there.
We got because other things happened.
Guys, we're more than
Working men.
working men. We have hobbies.
We are always working men, even when we're doing our hobbies. But at no point has our title of working man been stripped.
And when we say working man, we mean that in spirit. And we will explain more on the spirit part of it in a bit. But our version of working man is we work. Our community is our work. That's the thing about working man, community.
And there's all kinds of tasks and initiatives and ways that you can get your hands in there and get dirty as a working man.
There's a lot of different kinds. And then there's some kinds that are just pleasant and fun, which is how we spent our weekend.
Guys, I'm going to be honest. Maddie and I think we're on about a 6-day perfect streak. I think we're on like day 6 of a perfect streak of just like blissful days.
Every day we have had at least, I'd say minimum 3 things that we are like,
wow,
life is amazing.
And it's something
Beautiful.
As simple as, I'm trying to think of one of the smallest things.
The mountains really had us gagged one of the days.
The clouds have been crazy lately.
It was raining, and it was cloudy, and then the days it's been clear, it's been so beautiful.
We've just been getting to spend a lot of time with our little friend group.
Yeah.
Our little friends.
We have some friends who are moving, which is very exciting, moving closer to us, which is very, very exciting.
Which is thrilling. It's just back-to-back bangers, if we do say so ourselves.
Coming the roses. And it's mostly because everything feels so worthy of being grateful for,
yes.
the little stuff.
And it's because we've been very in the moment, I think, that's allowed us to because there's still obviously things in the ether and in the actual world where it's we're aware, but I think that we've really reveled in and been appreciative of this time period that we're in right now of just kind of, we feel like it's spring too. Spring is breaking.
Spring is sprung.
I don't know if anybody else saw, there was a video in Central Park in New York that a girl was taking of herself crocheting, but as she's doing it, and the whole park is filled behind her, as she's doing it, the sun comes out from behind some clouds, and people start clapping and cheering all throughout the park. It is so touching and so beautiful. Let's hold on to the springtime spirit, okay?
Ooh, it feels good.
It feels so
warm
good.
And it's defrosting.
But our weekend, we'll just go over our weekend real quick, give you a little recap. Friday night.
Ooh.
Friday night.
Friday night.
We don't want to say that we've got Fridays down, but
we started doing this thing called Perfect Friday, which is just started by us having 2 awesome Fridays back to back and going, it's a perfect Friday, and making it a tradition.
Methinks it's a perfect Friday.
Did you see the cringe episode? See, we've been practicing.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided to...
This was a Maddie pitch.
Yeah, I had seen this. It's one of those LA TikToks that's here's things to do around Los Angeles. And they talk about restaurants and local places. And they were interviewing Chris Pine.
Love.
For that pool boy movie he was doing. So he's got the long hair and a Hawaiian shirt on. He's really methoding. at the time.
I
He's
feel
always out and about wearing
Yeah.
kooky stuff.
Flip flops. He's a big flip flop guy. His toes are out.
He's not afraid of a cardigan.
No.
That is a man that is not afraid to wear some
Knit.
dare I say, like, yoga pants.
Knit pieces.
Doesn't care.
Yeah.
And rocking it. Bun, hair bun. But it was an interview of him, and they asked him what one of his favorite, or like to describe his perfect day in LA. And he says that he's going to the Museum of Jurassic Technology, which is in Culver City, I want to say. And it is, guys, whatever you're thinking it is.
And if you think you're going to leave that museum knowing what it was, we hear kooky museum, though, and our ears perk up a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of those where it is kind of just I don't want to say a hidden gem, but it is very much so.
It
It's
is
off the
very-
beaten path.
Yeah, it's tucked in this row of buildings that you wouldn't expect this thing to
And
be.
it's
Not a
so
lot of
much
foot traffic,
bigger than you could possibly imagine. And also, like, they don't allow phones or anything
which is
inside,
awesome.
which really keeps you in the moment. But we had
Yeah.
driven down there.
So we have like no photos of the inside.
No.
Sorry.
We had driven down to Tommy's house because Tommy lives in Mid-City. And we had all met there because you had been gone for the day. All met up there, then drove on over 10 minutes and proceeded to just... It really did feel like it was like a local small museum.
Yeah.
This
Well,
place was not...
It's a little bit of a freak show. Like that's
Yeah.
it's a modern day freak show that's kind of dolled itself up as
Yeah.
a museum. I had gone because when I had seen Chris Pine recommend this, my brother's birthday was coming up, and when he lived in San Diego, I was like, come up for your birthday. I want to take you out to this like weird place that Chris Pine recommended. Did I hear the camera go off?
No, that was me hitting my notebook.
It's a working man's sigh.
Yeah. You get it. There's just a million moving parts, and at all times, you are the one. I'd say carrying the parts on your back.
As a working man.
Yes, it was your brother's
but so I
birthday.
had gone with my brother and my sister-in-law, and we did not know what to expect when we went in. Couldn't describe it when we came out. It is a conglomerate of just, or I would say it's knickknacks from random places.
And placards that may or may not relate to what you're looking at.
If you want to know what you're looking at,
Sorry.
just maybe
can't-
think of the coolest
And
thing.
also, again, the
that
phone
could be.
thing in that moment really forces you to be like, you got to take their word for it, I guess. And pretty quickly, you're like, oh, I can't. I can't
Yeah.
take their word for
No.
it.
Yeah, you pick up these like audio things, and they'll just be talking
Yeah, it's
about
you
anything.
know, you're at a museum and it's the headsets basically
Yeah.
in front of a portrait of like some woman and her son that looks pretty normal. And you pick it up
Okay.
and it is a monotonous. Sometimes it's in another language that's
Yeah,
like
and
not.
sometimes they're like, the dam was built
Yeah.
in 1902, and you're like,
And to
what? Who's she?
in terms of a different language, it's not like in Spanish. It's like it's like Latin or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Just
Or like
blah, blah,
Italian.
blah. It sounds like the Charlie
Maybe,
Brown
maybe.
parents when you pick it up. There's multiple things that you stare at, and then the placard describes they've taken a thesaurus and just absolutely run that thing through
There is a
for those
room
descriptions.
of letters about the Griffith Observatory, and it's not all LA based, but this just one random room happens to be, and it's about the Griffith Observatory being built. There's probably 20 old letters in there that are like hand script written.
And
Really
the
difficult to
cursive?
read because they're kind of faded. Crazy cursive.
Guys,
But if you want to know what they are,
sorry.
there's no
Try to read it.
labels.
I'm decent at reading cursive. I can write in cursive, and I can
Beautiful
read.
handwriting.
I can read 90% of cursive, but I'd say once you go past, okay, that's bold. Actually.
No. I was saying that
do-
because I believe that, and I'm impressed by that.
it takes me a minute though.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really
But
takes
still,
me a
I think
second.
that counts.
But I would say if it's before the 1980s, I cannot read the cursive. They are slanting it in a way. It's beautiful.
The
'Cause
40s. If
we-
you've got a 40s cursive slant, sorry.
We recently found what we thought was a briefcase on the side of the road in like a pile of free stuff. It was a box that was like an old attaché that was gorgeous,
Yeah.
leather. And we see the box and we're like, yeah, we're taking home an attaché.
Millicent was going to do the smart thing and take it out of the box. And I was like, well, then we got to just leave this trash here. So I feel like we should just take the box. So before Millicent could open it, we just took it,
Picked it up, carried it home.
trusting that it was in
Get
there.
home, open it up, not an attaché. Instead, though, was about 40 minutes
Our dream.
worth of rummaging. It was old. I think it was basically an old box of letters that weren't the keepsake memory box worthy
Yeah, I think
for this
someone
couple.
was downsizing,
Yeah.
and they had gotten rid of all the excess like
Yeah.
wedding invitations, stuff
We
like
found
that.
like vintage paper dolls, like
Vintage, like old napkins from different people's weddings. Like I think that was a thing of keeping those.
really old greeting cards with really fun old cartoons on them.
If
Really,
you're one of our in real life pals, you
Yeah.
might be getting one of these.
a children's book that we were like, ooh,
Oh, that didn't age well.
ooh, that doesn't
gonna be putting that in
feel
the
good.
trash.
I can't obviously put my finger on it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel
That
right.
doesn't feel right.
But it's okay. It was already falling apart.
We didn't keep it.
Yeah. Anyways, we went to the Museum of Jurassic Technology, and that was truly just a
The one thing I will share from that, the one exhibit that I think we were all the most.
because you should go in blind. And also, when we walked in, Maddie was the only person in our group that had been there. At the very beginning, they
And
have
this
you watch.
Is my wonderland.
Guys, at the very beginning, they go, okay, there's like a slideshow presentation that you'll watch that'll explain the museum. First of all, it doesn't explain the museum. Second of all, it's 8 minutes long.
And it just kind of explains the history of museums in general.
Yeah. Super quiet, no subtitles on the screen. Like, you have to lean into this tiny little television.
It feels a little trippy because they've
Yeah.
got kind of a rock-like display around this tiny screen.
Going into it, though, then you just go. You're in the museum then. Going into it, Maddie kept saying, don't try to figure it out. Don't read into it. Don't think too much about it. Then we'd walk in, and the second that we start reading the plaques, of course there's going to be questions. Maddie was ready. She's like hovering around going, I'm not joking. You can't think about it. You got to. And I was like, but what is the plaque? And she's like, it doesn't matter.
I am my grandfather's granddaughter in the fact that if I'm going to a museum, I'm reading some plaques. I'm going to learn a little.
Yeah.
That's fun. So there was so many times in this museum that I would be like, whoa. Like I remember this one exhibit specifically. There was all of these beautifully carved pipes, like these old tobacco pipes that were like really cool how they were carved, and they looked like they were from all different places and times. So there's all these plaques around it, and I was like, awesome, I'm gonna go like read, because honestly I just come out of a room where they were trying to tell me how a man that invented like a dam related to a woman who was an opera singer but then died in like a train accident. It's a lot, you guys, to hold on to mentally.
It was-
so I was like, finally I'll just read some dates of where these have been from. No, they were just quotes from all different kinds of religious texts about just anything about smoke. It could be like he was smoking his pipe to the Smoky Mountains. Didn't matter.
Yeah. I'll say one of the first examples of you have to release the placards is the first thing you see is, okay, it's a needle with what appears to be like the seed of something that has been carved very intricately, but it doesn't look, it kind of just looks like a brain. On the placard, it goes on to describe what you are looking at. And it is like, in this carved almond is the face of a woman in the profile of a stallion running full speed. On the opposite side, a man is on the way to meet her. Like, archaeologists believe in the Jurassic time, but they never explain what Jurassic time means. Second of all, I'm looking at this. I am not seeing. There's a magnifying glass on it because it's so small. I'm like, I'm sorry. That's not true.
All of the magnifyings are like regular magnifying glasses you'd have when you need like science-y magnifying, like intense one. They don't got them.
One of them is just something tapping on top of like a ball, and then you read the description and it's talking about gemstones, and you're like, what?
It's awesome, you guys. Anything can happen in the Museum of Jurassic Technologies. I won't even explain the one. We can. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Well,
another time.
upstairs.
We want to do a museum episode, so I feel like we'll talk about it more because we did a lot more this weekend too.
Yes.
And
yes.
we do want to do a museums episode. I only have to stop ourselves.
No, it's true.
I could talk about that forever.
Then Saturday night, we went to our dear friend Bree. Is a other Bree, not Papa Bree, other Bree. There's two Brees, one's with an I,
spelled
one's with an
different.
E. It's okay, that helps out.
You can hear it.
Yeah, with my mom, when I'm on the phone describing like stories or something to her, though, I say Bree the theater teacher.
Bree teacher.
Bree yeah. Bree the,
Yeah.
Our friend Bree is a high school theater teacher. Now, we understand, obviously, look at us. We understand the impact that high school theater programs have on students. So having
powerful.
a friend who is a theater teacher is insane. First of all, she's carrying the world on her back.
Getting to be on the other side of it and being like, I feel like because my mom was a teacher, I had a good concept of how much weight that teachers had to bear, but getting to see one of your friends bear that weight.
Especially art teachers. It's a different kind of weight.
Parents, be kind to teachers. Oh my gosh, you could not do it. You could not do it. And I will say, Bree has she has a board who is really great, and I think really appreciative of her. It seems like
we watched. So it was closing night of her musical Zombie Prom. And we have at this point gone to enough of the show, like the plays and then the musicals. We know a lot of the cast.
Yeah.
Like from afar. Like we recognize, like, oh, that's the girl that played such and such in our
it's been
town.
really sweet to like watch them grow up as we've like supported our friend. We get to see them.
And we have our little favorites.
There
There are
all the
some
kids are. Let's say,
Everyone is a star.
all of
Let's be
them.
clear.
Incredible.
Actually, so good. This was the best musical I've seen. Like
it was really fun.
This
The
was
set
her-
was amazing.
I think this was like one of my favorite ones that I've seen there.
it was fun.
There are, though, obviously just people that are going to catch your eye for whatever reason. And we have like there's just certain students that we've gotten to see through the years that really caught our eye early on because we were like, that's some choices that they're making, and we love them, and we're living for them. And to see her in a lead this time too, somebody that we had watched
One of
a
the
couple
girls,
years ago.
Yeah, who we just had like fallen in love with her energy on stage, and each show, even if she's had a smaller part, she's just brought it.
And it's so fun having a theater teacher as a friend because afterwards we get to like be like, oh my goodness, we loved this person, and then we get to hear like, oh, she was so excited, like she got like blah blah blah, she was working on
and like
this.
how she like came to that part. It's adorable, you guys.
It's amazing. And we also got to watch a parent of the Booster Club cry as she like gave Brie her like a bouquet and a thank you.
Her
thing.
daughter was aging out, so she was like, "This is my last year here," and she was like thanking Brie.
And then the students did a surprise gift for Brie. Guys,
it was adorable.
they ran out. Like the stage manager who was graduating, like ran out and gave her a Build-A-Bear box, and inside the Build-A-Bear box, they like kids had all gone to the mall together and made the main character from the musical into a bunny, like into a little stuffed bear.
Really cute.
And then they go, press its arm, and on one arm it's the lead girl singing one of the songs,
and I think some like the backup, like the main girl group.
And then on the other arm it was like all of them saying like thank you Miss Mac,
like we love you Miss Mac or something like that. Adorable.
Oh my goodness.
Adorable.
And then
So that you guys are probably like, wow, they sound like they've had an awesome weekend. Friday night, awesome.
well, we have to say what we won.
Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Guys, the good thing about going to your local high school theater to support a production is that anytime that you're making a purchase, you're actively supporting the theater department.
It feels good to buy a cookie.
Yeah. So let's be clear, at that concession stand, I'm getting a little loosey-goosey with my cash.
Final night, everything gotta go. No problem.
Everything's gotta go. I see some sugar cookies and I'm gonna take them home.
Oh man, that cupcake looks like a brain. Zombie prom.
Yeah. And then when there is a raffle, you know, and you're two gals that love a little game, a chance.
Want to support our children.
So there was a deal to buy like 25 for whatever. So
If you
we
bought
were
like 20 for $20, got you 25 tickets.
again, at no other point in our lives are we like walking up to a raffle and entering. Really, it's not. We're not gamblers, you know.
It's not in us.
We ain't got. We're working men.
But when
we don't have time
don't
for
got
lotteries.
Time to be betting this or
But
that.
this time we did.
But this time because it just was a win-win either way. If I lost, I supported the theater department.
So we split up our tickets and we did 10 into. here's our
Okay,
ranking.
okay.
So there were
So
a
there
bunch
were
of
some
different baskets. Here's the ones that we entered into to hopefully win the raffle.
Okay. We had 25 tickets.
Basket number 1 was wholesome fun, like wholesome fun night.
So it was like an AMC movie gift card, a box of popcorn.
A yo-yo.
Yeah, there was like a chessboard. It was creative. A little you could knit, like crochet a little zombie. It was fun.
Box number 2.
Box number 2 was
well,
there were-
okay. The
so
second one,
we put 10 in the wholesome fun.
yeah. Then we put 10. Was that the game?
So I think we put 10 in. There was one for 30-minute voice lesson. So we put 10 into that.
Yeah, and we were like, we'll do a duet. We'll go in and do 30 minutes.
Yeah, we've got our duets night coming
15
up
minutes apiece.
on April 11th. If you're in Los Angeles, come
We've
to
never
our
announced that.
duets
This
night
is exciting.
at the Good Night. It's Pals Night.
Yeah, we're going to be hosting a karaoke night.
8 to 11.
Yeah, 11 midnight, whenever, we'll see. Come to the good night.
Come to the Good Night.
So,
we were like, we'll learn a duet for that. In 30 minutes, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can get at least a little something going.
Then the last one we did was 2 tickets to an LA Rams game with like parking at the stadium. All of the other baskets are like $60 value on the bottom. This one's like $1,200 value. We were like, yeah, we'll throw in for that.
We've never been to a Rams game. Maybe we'll go.
So the time comes at the end of the night for them to draw the raffle tickets, and it's the first basket is up. Bree, our friend, is on stage. We've written pals on every single ticket.
Pals. Because they weren't wanting to call the numbers.
No. So she pulls out a ticket for the Wholesome Fun box. It's box number 1 of the night.
It's silent in this theater because she's like,
Completely silent.
we're calling the raffle now.
She pulls it up, smiles kind of. I knew it in my bones we were going to get it. I don't know why. I had never been so certain.
It was right.
Yeah.
The universe was right.
Yeah. She looks at it and goes, pals. and
it's
silent.
for
We
a
just
minute.
go, woo!
And people kind of applaud out of the energy.
A little, yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of ripple of
I run up.
magnitude.
I grab the ticket. We didn't get the voice
Yeah,
lesson.
she says, come up here. We're like, are we supposed
What?
to go on the stage?
Okay.
Do we make a speech? Thank you for this wholesome basket.
I shook her hand. I wasn't sure what to do. Then the voice lesson happened. They gave out the other ones, and we didn't win those. But the person that won the voice lesson, it was like, we're really glad that
She
got
seemed
it.
like she was going to find something within
Yeah,
herself.
it felt
in this
really
voice
promising.
lesson. Those
And
30 minutes
then
could change everything.
a little boy got the Rams tickets,
Rams.
which
And I was
also
like,
felt
oh, he's
correct,
going to have
right.
a good time.
And we got to go home with a Wholesome Fun basket.
everything
Guys.
is right.
Coming home winners after supporting local theater.
And then you again now. So now I'll go back to what I was saying.
Right.
You're probably thinking they had an amazing weekend.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome Friday.
Amazing. They could probably pull an episode from one
all
of
of
each
that.
of that, right?
Awesome Saturday too. On top of the Friday. Whoa,
Wow. Powerful
Wait.
stuff.
they still have one more night. The
Whoa.
weekend still has one more night. Whoa.
Okay. Then what happened to pivot them into working men?
What?
Oh. Working Man with Jason Statham.
It wasn't even like hidden message. It just was the
Yeah.
movie Working Man by Jason Statham. That's why we're dressed
Yeah.
as working men. If you're only listening, you can't tell.
You can't tell that. Listen, I texted Papa this morning and I said, hey, you got a Carhartt jacket I can borrow? And she responded, silly question. I put it on our Instagram, @won't you be my pal.
Should we do a fit check?
Oh, yeah, fit
Okay,
check.
do
So
yours.
I am rocking I got Wrangler on the bottom, but I didn't know I was going to be wearing this Carhartt color at first, so forgive me.
I was doing a working man fit check.
Working man fit check. Wrangler cargo pants on the bottom, Carhartt long sleeve black shirt. Papa was giving it away, so I took it about a year ago. Papa's Carhartt jacket. And then Papa's Carhartt hat. She came in to give me the jacket and then was like, do you want the hat? But Papa is a working man, so I am,
Yeah.
in that moment. All right.
And this is Gap Kids. And and these are just you know what? I'm not gonna lie, I think this is Skechers Kids. I'm being so for real. I think these are
Wow.
both kids lines.
Okay.
And this is an Old Bay hat from my hometown that I asked my mom to get me for Christmas. And she did. Thank you, Mama. So I guess I'm kind of cosplaying just like a boy in a town.
A working
But
boy.
A working boy. Not all of us can be working men. But what I really like about this jacket is that it provides me the option to it's very intricate for a child's jacket, if I may say.
Okay. Walk us through it.
A lot of pockets
Come on
up
now.
here. Not really practical ones, but
Yeah.
especially not for a child. A child's not undoing this button.
No,
That's not practical.
That might be more so for the parents. Pop an AirTag in there.
I think this is older than AirTag tech.
Okay.
I think it's a little old. And then inside is I have a
Nice fit.
Dickies shirt under this that I
Working man.
long sleeve. I got a pocket inside. That makes
Love
a little more
that.
sense for a little kid. But I just think that
Gosh, thinking of a little kid reaching to a pocket on the inside. Does this one have a pocket on the
and the
inside?
buttons, it's a lot. But what I really
This
like,
one has a pocket on the inside.
see, they're giving these working men jackets. They need pockets.
No, they need
They're
it. They
working
have
men.
so
One thing
many
about working men, they
tools.
need pockets. What I really like about this one though is the collar, because I feel like when as a working man, once I go into incognito mode, this is what the collar's really doing its
Yeah.
job. No one knows who I am now.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of work, guys.
I'm hiding right now.
You can't see her.
When I'm like this, I'm a working man. I'm
Yeah.
a guy who you know my name. I'm like
Right,
Steve.
I'm a bad guy. I see this guy on the street. I'm not
like, that's
worried
just
about it. I'm
Steve.
like,
He's
that's
just
just another
construction.
guy, right?
But then if I'm like this,
Yeah.
you actually can't see me
Whoa.
at all.
No, I turn around and I only see a shadow, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Somebody's on my tail. Yeah. No, that's really good.
And I can get in anywhere.
Yeah, and she's shuffling like that.
It's
Bent
kind of
down.
Edna
Yeah.
mode style.
It is funny because that feels like it mainly was for me because there's no way the camera was able
Could
to
you
get
could
your
see
legs.
it, or was I too tall? Well, I was just if my upper body that could be
Yeah.
funny.
Well-
We'll see. Let us know.
We're gonna have more on the working man after this.
Because ladies and should we tell them why? Real
Oh
quick.
yeah.
Well, we went to see Working man.
We've said it.
Well, I think we've been talking about just the movie, but
well,
I wanted to
earlier-
know we went.
Earlier when we said working
Working
man
man
at the
twice.
same time.
Yeah.
We said at the same time. I think I had said man.
Yeah, I think more in my head, because we did a fit check of being working men again, it felt like we needed to remind them that
Like tie the ribbon. Yeah.
today was on Sunday night.
Right.
That is how we chose to spend our time, was going to Working
Right.
Man, and that's our big finale activity that we're going to be kind of covering today.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, and I'm there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. Here's the board. I'm on it. You're there too. I'm on it with you. Whoa. And you guys will understand why we have to stand up to shake our hands after this. In the world, there's good and there's evil.
And then there's Working Men.
Can I be honest with you?
Tell me.
Sometimes these days, I feel a little bit powerless.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm just a guy.
I'm
What
just
am I to do? It's just a guy.
There's so much happening. I'm looking at it. I'm a little bit upset. I'm a whole lot upset. I'm a little bit scared. I'm sitting there. I'm like,
What do I do?
nothing.
What do I do? And so for us, our solution has been our community.
Engaging with our community. In
Finding our
small and-
people that are here in our lives and getting to positively share our lives with each other.
And that can be relationship wise, but it also is like going to your community events.
Yeah.
Supporting
Museum of Jurassic
local
Technology.
stores, supporting your local high school theater department, buying $20 worth of raffle tickets,
Winning big, being the first big winners of the night.
of the wholesome fun box.
Getting to set that energy precedent. Yeah, we're hooting and hollering when we win. Woo! So that everyone in the theater who had come with friends, they were hooting and hollering.
Yeah. But sometimes, sometimes you're able to empower yourself by taking a little bit of, doing a little something.
Yeah, you can do in easy ways and ways that feel so enriching to you as well. This isn't just give, this is take too. Ooh, to be in community.
But sometimes
Guys,
sometimes this world is so messed up.
sometimes this world's just a little too much
Sometimes
for a
it's
guy like
so-
me.
Sometimes there's just like so much evil and so much wrong that you're like, maybe shopping local isn't gonna cut it.
Oh gosh, I just feel like not ordering from Amazon isn't even gonna carry my wrath.
I've done 20 petitions this week, and I'm telling you, it hasn't even scratched the surface of the evil I'm seeing. And that, pals, that is when Statham comes in. That's when our boy steps in, and the scales of right and wrong are balanced at last.
He has the hand of righteousness.
The hand of wrath, the hand of judgment.
Whatever motivation you need to have to feel okay with the next hour and a half, he's giving it to you.
And he's giving
And
it to you in his
he's
open
giving it-
palm across the face of evil.
He is the hands of justice.
He is the eyes of judgment. And he doesn't speak much.
And it's not an if. It's a when.
It's not, oh, will he beat evil? Evil is so scared when he is stepping into the ring.
Evil shudders at the sight of his shadow. That's what's so satisfying about these movies, because there is a little bit of just like, don't worry.
Yeah.
Do not worry,
Yeah.
Statham's going to pull through on this one.
And we are usually, we are typically not fans of violence and such in movies.
Sometimes it's a little too much.
It's too much. However, these kinds of movies give you the opportunity to know that every person that is having their shit rocked
It's getting hit by cars.
is a
It's getting
Bad.
boomed.
bad person.
They're firing on all cylinders of evil.
That was good.
Come on.
Earlier today, Maddie goes, "Hey, what did you say? You said, do you know how to make a car revving sound?"
Well, first, Millicent had gone into her room to change, and she closed her door. And one thing about Millicent's room, it's soundproofed. She's not hearing what we're saying. And her door was cracked. But so I wanted to know if she could make a car revving sound with her mouth, because it felt like, feels doable for Millicent. I felt like she had that in her back pocket, but maybe she'd never tried. So I said, Millicent, do you think that you can make a car revving sound with your mouth? Silence. Bree goes, Millicent. Silence. She starts singing. What were you singing? Party rockers in the house tonight. It wasn't that, but it was.
It was just a song.
And then we went, oh, she didn't hear anything. But then you did do it for me.
Yeah, I tried it. I feel
You don't
too
wanna do it now?
vulnerable.
You're
I
on the
haven't
spot?
worked on it enough, but I'm
She's
not trying to
rev-
keep that
she's,
from you guys. I promise I will work on my car sound.
She's rev shy.
But they're fired on all cylinders of evil. These movies feel good to watch in a way of, obviously, this isn't happening in the real world, but isn't it fun to think about?
And if
Just a little.
you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah,
and
there's
that
beats.
does not discourage from seeing them because they each have their own unique flavor.
Certain-
But the one that got us into
The one that hooked us on Stath.
on the Stathy boy,
The one that got that IV in our arm, and we were like,
said,
I need more of that.
"Whoa, I like the way he moves and I like how little he talks."
A man I can get behind.
Yeah.
Only working on behalf of the good of everyone.
A man of
And
action,
it's simple, straight to the
Simple,
point.
efficient.
The movie that got us bit with the Stath bug was The Beekeeper. It came out about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and we saw it on AMC while we were going out one night, and we just randomly decided to go see it. Went in completely blind.
I think we only knew that it was Jason Statham and Josh Hutcherson, which got us
Yeah.
excited.
And we knew it was, because it was a Statham movie, he falls into the line of like the Keanu Reeves realm and the Liam Neeson.
the Taken style movies where there's beats to it that you're familiar with if you've
You're
seen
like,
one.
okay,
There's a guy.
somebody's gonna cross a line that this guy's not gonna be okay with.
This guy, yeah, he's seen some shit, but
Yeah.
he's got morals.
Yeah, this
Say-
guy has done things that he's not proud of, but he did them because he had to do them, and he got the job done.
And somebody's got to do him. It's gonna be him.
And don't ask questions about what it was. It's vague. It's behind him. It's in the past, but it's military.
And don't ask what group of military because that's not important. All you need to know is he did some stuff.
You've
If there
seen
is
him in a
something-
unicorn. In a unicorn.
Yeah, and so maybe he was a part of the unit that used unicorns. You don't know about that part of
Gosh,
the military. It is
one-
vague.
Gosh, one letter in that word was so critical. The C to the F was so.
Words are important.
Letters matter. He's got the uniform. You've seen him in it for a minute. There's maybe a picture on the mantle of the woman he loves back home somewhere.
Yeah.
If she's still alive.
She's probably not. And
She's
it's
most
not the
likely not.
military thing. It was probably something else.
Completely unrelated. We go in, we sit down for The Beekeeper, guys. What ensues is a movie that you think you know this genre, and this finds a way to subvert it. It really, it's.
It had such a fun. Every once in a while, you'll go see a movie that you think is going to be a pretty cookie cutter, and then they add just a little bit of
Yeah.
sparkle, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, so he was a beekeeper, right? The kind that keeps bees, the kind that you're
Right.
familiar with. And he has, right here, yep,
Yeah,
there's
so
the poster
if you
for
want
it.
to see, it's actually a really cool poster. It's Jason Statham's body. He's wearing his beekeeper uniform, which is sick, and then the half of his body's kind of dissolving, kind of like
Yeah.
Thanos' snap into bees.
Now, you might see that and think that he's fighting in the beekeeper costume. Like, that's not what that is, though, actually. He's a different he's two kinds of beekeepers. Let's walk him through. Okay, first,
You're gonna
meet
try and
him.
latch onto it making sense, and it just is
Don't
kind
worry
of
about it.
a lot of just beekeeping.
I appreciate these movies because they don't worry about explaining it. They're like, you don't need,
need
to
to
know
know
the
the
details. Get the vibe of it, and that's all. You'll be good to go.
Whatever skills he needs to have for this movie to happen, he
He
has
has
done them in the past.
Them, yeah, he has
Probably
them.
about 20 years
and probably
ago.
at the top of the game that you could be performing said duties.
Yeah.
We meet Jason Statham, and he is a beekeeper, a literal beekeeper. There's bees. He keeps them. He keeps them on a property. There's
He's
an older.
gentle with them.
Yeah. You
He
meet.
doesn't again,
Yeah.
he doesn't talk
He's a
much.
quiet man. He's just taking care of his bees. He keeps the bees on a property, and there's an older woman who's really just like, she really has kind of taken
Sweet.
him under his wing.
Yeah, they've
She's
got
the-
a good rapport.
She's definitely like multiple times being like, and have you eaten enough today? Like,
Yeah.
come in here and eat.
But he
like,
gives her honey. It's a beautiful mutual
Yes.
exchange of community.
and I think he like even had tried to pay her, and she was like, no, you give me honey. You don't have
Yeah.
to worry about it. They have a great relationship. She's older, and she falls victim to a cyber scam.
Guys, it's awful.
They take everything from her.
Guys, it is like a sickening scene to think about.
Yeah.
This is where when I love movies that don't use violence to make that kind of reaction of being like, to give you empathy of not just being like, I'm hurting somebody, being like, oh, this woman's life is ruined.
Yeah, and they do counterbalance that with so much violence.
Yeah.
Beyond that.
Unfortunately, the violence is the medicine in this scenario.
I would say that if you want the easiest watching experience for a movie like this, come in 20 minutes in. After 20 minutes, odds are the worst. Well, maybe
You're
25.
just powering through it.
Yeah. At that point, he's probably on the move.
If he's on the move, we're not stopping.
So she gets a phone call. It's one of those scamming situations. We've talked about it before. If you scam old people, write into heytherpals.com, send your address. We'll show up, and we're gonna
Statham you.
We're looking for excuses to
Easy
Statham some
peasy.
people. If you scam old people, hit us up, man.
We're actually just gonna send Jillian.
Yeah, we're gonna send our friend who does like mixed martial arts. We'll send
She'll
her,
take
and
care
you
of
do
it swiftly and
you
quickly.
do not want Jillian coming after you. Closest thing to Statham we've got.
She knows how to hook.
So the woman, they take everything from her. They get into her computer. They're wiping it out. You're watching the phone call happen. It's like a young person doing it to her. She loses everything and loses the house.
Things go poorly.
Things go poorly.
And Statham is.
She ends up passing away
He's not happy about it.
because she's so upset about everything
And
happening.
he's not happy.
And he finds her, I think,
And
too.
he
it's just...
is a man who sees injustices in the world and he takes action. So now remember how we said he's a beekeeper? Yes, he keeps literal bees, right?
Yeah, right.
But
Secret second version.
he was also a part of an organization called the Beekeepers.
Kind of Black Ops, but globally.
Kind of like that. They're always a layer of the military that it's like, and the military, the government doesn't even know we exist.
Yeah, but if they
it's
show
like,
up,
okay.
they take over.
Yeah.
They're
We do the stuff
in
that
unmarked vans.
we do the stuff the government doesn't want to have
Yeah.
to do.
But the whole point of the beekeepers is that if you know anything about hives and bees, which read The Honeys by I'll find it. I can't remember the name right now. All about bees, but the idea is that if one part of the hive is suffering, the rest of the hive is suffering, right? So the beekeepers, they protect the hive. So when they see wrong in the hive,
They swarm.
because there's a part of bees where it's like they will take over if they see something going wrong. We don't know a ton about bees, okay? We did see this movie and it changed
And again,
us.
he didn't have to become a beekeeper because he was
They
in
even
this group
said
called the
that to
Beekeepers.
him.
It was like it wasn't you. Hey, you didn't have to go become a beekeeper at retirement, but that's just what he wanted. Top
And-
of mind, I guess.
What happens then really quickly with this one, though, he is like, I'm going to find who did this.
Yeah, this one is a pretty swift. He doesn't really have a whole lot of fan. It's just a swift entrance. Into
He's
this
kind of like, all right. And he was a retired beekeeper. Okay, again, two versions of a beekeeper. He'd retired from the one that was the Black Ops operation. And then but he is a literal beekeeper. Again, not normal for the
actual
beekeepers to be
bees.
literal beekeepers. He just did that. I think he really likes bees. I think he just got into that. It was a peaceful thing for him. Again, vague background in military and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of, he needs the bees. So he proceeds to, and what you're seeing throughout that entire movie is people who scam old people just having a rough 72 hours.
And the most magical part of it to us was the Josh Hutcherson of it all. I love a silly, goofy villain. He was having fun. He was playing this like Nepo baby, like crypto Nepo baby who had like spiked frosted tips. Just fun. It's giving Samuel L. Jackson in that The Kingsman.
One thing about me, if there's a villain that has blonde highlights incorporated in their look, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're doing things a little different.
they're gonna have a little certain like je ne sais quoi to the evil.
Yeah.
We had talked about Jason Momoa at one point in the Fast and Furious movie.
He is giving it a little zest.
Yeah, he's really having a good like painted nails on a villain. Love,
Yeah. Fun. Why not?
do it. Have fun with it.
They have a backstory too.
Josh Hutcherson has a hard time though, and throughout that entire movie, it is him being like, it's Jason Statham getting closer and closer to Josh Hutcherson, who's like at the top of it, because he takes out the scamming thing, and then he's like, wait a minute, somebody's funding this. I got to go up the ladder.
So this movie was powerful, as you can tell.
Insane.
On
The
us.
theater that we saw it in was electric. Like
Yeah.
nobody really knew what to expect. It felt like a comeback for our generation of Statham.
Which is why when we went to this movie, it was so exciting because you could tell bzzz, the hive had gathered.
Yeah.
Okay? Look out, Beyonce fans. There's a new hive in town, okay? And it's the Statham heads. All right?
It's the keepers of the beekeeper.
Yeah. Bzzz. Oh, I would love if we all wore like beekeeper. I did tell you, I do feel like I could see
Yes.
beekeeping in my
Yes.
future.
Yes. However,
If
we
I had
are
the time and the
terrified of the bees in
space
our backyard.
and the place.
so.
I don't feel
Put
like
it in
I'm
an outfit.
scared. I don't feel like we're scared of them. I feel like we just give them their space.
Yeah. If I had an outfit, I would
I would
be
feel
wanting
so
to hang
comfortable.
with them. Yeah, I'd be like, as long as this thing's zipped up right,
Mhm.
I feel good.
I think I would love to help them with their honey process.
You ever
I
seen
don't
that
know.
lady that barehanded just like holds huge things of bees because she like
'Cause
saves
she
the
like
hive?
takes them out and then she takes a bite of them every time, which is crazy.
Takes a bite of the bees.
The
Oh.
honeycomb.
I was like, I didn't see that part.
It's like, girl, for what? Just eat the honey.
We go into this movie. We sit
Excited.
down. Theater is buzzing. Okay,
Bzzz.
everybody is excited.
We're in some of those real reclinable chairs.
We're like 6 inches lower. Our feet are higher than our heads. It's great for our circulation.
gazing up at Statham. Sorry. Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I noticed that she was
quite
doing
a
it and I
shot?
had it.
No,
hooked
no, and
in.
then I was like, I feel like does it look like we're giving in labor?
Does it look like we're in labor? Don't be weird about it.
Sorry if you were just listening. We
Yeah.
were getting into our reclining position.
We
so
got our
go
popcorn.
in.
We have an entire week gone to Ross beforehand, so we had a massive Costco-sized bag of Nerds clusters. We were
the
ready.
candy that scientists literally said, do not put
Hey
this
guys,
in your
don't
body.
eat that. That's the worst thing you could be eating. Oh, we're guzzling. We are.
Zoe, catch
At
us
this
at
point,
Statham.
I am 72% nerd cluster. I really believe that.
So we go into this. We're excited. The movie starts. We've got one gentleman next to us. There's a space next to me and then one guy next to us. People are applauding for the Nicole Kidman, which is a good sign. People
Always a good
People are
sign.
here to cheer. They're here to interact with this movie. We're here to commune.
We're not here for the plot necessarily.
We're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
And we're here to see some wrongs righted.
Yeah.
And so the movie starts. We know the beats that are gonna happen. It's gonna be similar. He's a working man. One
Working man. He's on a
Working man.
construction site. He's owning it.
He's kind of
He's
second in
running
command
it.
below the people that own it. This nice family that is basically his family.
It's his family.
But-
Everybody at the construction site, they're bringing him lunch from their wives.
Their
And he's going,
wives,
why'd you
yeah.
bring me this? And he says, well, my wife said you won't eat it if we don't bring you some food.
Because he's a working
He's a working man, guys. He's sleeping in his truck because, yes, of course, he has a daughter that he's a little bit estranged with because things with his ex-wife didn't work out. His ex-wife has passed away. That was before all of this, though.
Again,
Outside
big
of
military
everything.
background, but also not related to that. But
Not
a little
related to
related
that.
to that.
Obviously, an ex-father-in-law that really holds a grudge, blames him for the death of the daughter.
Wants to have custody of his 8-year-old daughter primarily.
Yeah.
He's like, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
To Statham. He says that to Statham's face. He's like,
You're a
bad
violent
guy.
man.
As the grandpa is like throwing a weird Alice in Wonderland party, and Statham's
'cause
like,
he's really
why'd
rich.
your grandpa throw a party the day I was supposed to come pick you up? And the daughter's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I
the
want to hang out
daughter's
with you, Dad.
precocious,
The daughter likes
adorable.
the dad. Yeah.
Little
she
brunette.
sees that
She's
her dad is
cutie.
a working man.
She understands that he's working on her behalf.
Mm-hmm.
But he has this family at work, and he takes care of them. The first thing you see is one of the men at his construction site. Somebody comes to collect some money. Some guys come, and they're not looking too good. They come to collect some money. He does his whole thing, completely defends the guy, throws a box of nails, beats him up.
We know he's got skills.
The daughter sees this happen. The daughter of the construction site owners who works there.
again.
She's a good kid.
Yeah,
A
she
little
parties a little,
spoiled.
but she's an early teen, early college days.
She's a good kid. She works hard.
She
She
gets
loves
her
her
grades
family. She
high.
witnesses this. He says, "Hey, let's keep this between us." Like, oh, yeah.
and she's like, maybe you could teach me a little something. And
And then
he's
she's
like,
he's like, no. And she goes, well, at least promise you got my back. And he was like, of course. He like gives her like a fist bump or something. I don't know. They handshake.
they bond. So a
There's
bond
a
is
moment
formed.
of bond. And then, if you've ever seen the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, you're looking at about the same structure movie-wise, okay?
And they nailed that name because when in doubt, someone is getting taken.
Yeah.
That's crucial.
It
to
must.
these movies.
It revolutionized the genre.
Of going, yeah,
She
taken.
did get taken.
Someone is taken, and that makes us mad.
That we don't like that.
So,
That's
of
not
course,
okay.
She gets taken. The dad of the guy who owns the construction company, the dad of the girl who gets taken, comes to Statham and he says, "Please,
Well, Statham.
we will give you however much money you want."
Yeah.
Statham, though, keep in mind, he is already on. He's
left
on thin
that all
ice
behind.
with his daughter because if he is caught doing violence, he's not going to be able to see his daughter anymore.
This puts him at risk, and also, again, guys, he has left that life, that vague life of military violence behind him. But he walks in and he sees this man who he sees as family. Mm-hmm. He's sitting there on the floor of his daughter's room. He walks in and the family's all praying around the table, and then he goes upstairs in their house. And
they were all in town for her piano recital, and that's how they knew she was missing.
brutal, because she would have never missed out on the piano recital that she knew her family was going to be at.
And yes, she went to business school because her parents wanted her to, but she has a heart for piano. That's really where
That's where
heart's at.
her heart
She
is.
would not miss this recital.
And she has a gift for piano
She's
as
great
well.
at it.
He walks into her room upstairs, and her dad is sitting on the floor, and he's He's crying.
He's watching a video of his daughter playing piano.
And
Statham walks in behind. He's giving him his space. He's giving him his moment. Arms crossed. And he goes,
Claire de Lune. Not Claire de Lune. Oh my God, not Claire de Lune. Brother, if I'm so embarrassed. This is humiliating.
No. That was the funniest response we could have had. We'll do it again. There's always another try. When you guys know what we're about to say, it's funny. So Statham comes in. He's listening. Guys, again, this is going to be funny when you hear what we were supposed to say. Statham walks in. Because one thing about Statham, one of his superpowers is listening.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just a man of action. He's not talking. He's listening. He's standing behind his friend, watching the video with him. He's listening to the song that's playing. Statham goes,
Moonlight Sonata. So me saying Claire de Lune was...
You see how we got there? So we're impressed. He's impressed with Statham. Again, what is his background? Why does is he classically trained? Is he military? What?
He's a man of
culture. He has done it all.
And he's done it all.
So
that's when the dad really begs. The dad says, of course, he does the whole, whatever money you need. And he kind of just goes,
he kind of lets him have his moment. But one thing is, he's going to go. And
I mean, we're here at the movie, right? The billboard said, human traffickers beware.
I don't think they're being aware yet.
I don't think this movie's going to stop right now at Jason's. Just watch him build that construction site.
Just go home, make some macaroni.
He just goes back to work. He just goes back to work. No. Movie over. Roll credits.
He goes, well, there's one more step he needs to do before he hasn't really
again, guys, he's not that person anymore.
He's got a moral conundrum here. So he goes to see his pal.
His buddy. His brother.
David Harbour. Second build, only in 2 scenes. Now, picture this, you guys. He's a vet as well, but there's a catch. He's blind. Who blames themselves? Statham.
Of course.
Statham has lost sleep because he believes in somewhere in their vague military background he could have saved David Harbour's eyes.
David Harbour says, my wife would be burying dog tags in the backyard if it wasn't for you.
David Harbour does not care. He is nothing but grateful to this man.
Yeah, nothing but grateful. They are brothers. This movie probably had a minimum 45 brother count.
We should have brought a buzzer.
Yeah.
Brother! Brother buzzer?
Brother! Write that down. Brother.
Keep going. We gotta get to the end.
I know. So he sees David Harbour. He's basically he shows up and he explains the situation, and David Harbour goes, where are you gonna go get the girl? And he goes, I don't know. And David Harbour goes, why are you showing up like you gotta ask me for permission?
Yeah. It had a little bit of the energy, a bit of a flare difference, but the energy of Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born when he's talking to Bradley Cooper and he's like, oh, no, it's Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
and Dave Chappelle goes, this is the first time I'm actually worried about you, man.
I've known you for years, and this is the first time I've actually worried about you.
Whew, powerful.
Yeah, but it didn't give that vibe at all. Instead, he was like, yeah, you obviously have to go get this girl. And he goes, but if you're going to do this, brother, you got to go all the way in. You can't just go halfway. I mean, people are going to die. People are clapping in the theater at this point.
People are like, let's go. So we're off to the races, you guys, right? Now, the big thing we wanted to tell you about here is, because you know how the beats go, right? We're meeting a Russian mob. Mm-hmm. And
I kept leaning over to Maddie and going, if this follow's taken, he's going to accidentally kill the first source he has too quickly, and he's going to have to go a little further up.
And she was
Boom!
Right.
He accidentally kills that first bartender so fast.
And you go,
if you saw Taken, it was Peter, the cab driver. Sorry.
No, it happens. If you are in these movies and the bad guy's got a nickname for you, like the werewolf or the bear,
Diablo, or the shadow.
If it's in a different language, they're scared of you. They're scared of Statham.
If you're a working man, you want to have a nickname from the bad guys.
And these Russian guys, right? You keep meeting them.
Kind of a nesting doll, a Russian nesting doll of bad Russian mafia members. You keep taking one, you're like, oh, there's another one inside.
You come in and you go, whoa, this guy's really bad. He's probably the baddest of all the guys. No, there's a guy badder than him.
There's another guy.
So that's how we feel okay going up this ladder. But we get to the climax.
The final scene. You know it's the final scene because Claire de Lune starts playing. Not Claire de Lune! Oh my goodness!
You've never said this
never
before.
Done it! We've talked about it so many times.
What's going on?
What's happening?
And Claire de Lune is so much more complicated than the Moonlight Sonata. It's so funny.
Brother.
So okay, so you know what's coming because the climax is happening. Statham's on the
Moonlight
final
Sonata
hunt,
comes on.
and you see the moon.
Biggest?
When you lay eyes on this moon, you guys.
It doesn't. You don't lay eyes on the moon lays on your eyes.
Google it.
It
is ginormous.
It's to the point where, like, on Letterboxd, people were saying however big you think the moon is during the climactic scene,
Yeah.
it's bigger.
Most comments were about the moon or the beekeeper.
A lot of comments were about the moon. We go on and we see finally, like, the last two people that actually, like, took her, we see them get taken out. We see Jason do the guy, and the girl really has an impressive. It was nice to see the girl in this situation finally
It
getting
was nice to see her get to fight back because she had asked earlier. She's got a little fight in her.
Yeah.
She'd asked Statham to train her, so she was ready to rumble.
She snapped a neck with her thighs. It
She
was
had
amazing.
some tough days, so she was ready. And
So she does her kill, and everybody kind of applauds, and we hear our little buddy next to us.
one seat over, we hear a guy chirp it up, and he goes, "Most realistic kill in the movie," and I'm in.
Boom. You've activated us.
Hello.
You're sitting alone at that chair, and we're sitting right here, and you spoke to the room.
Yeah, you said come on in, and we're here.
You opened that door, we're in.
Most realistic kill in the movie. That's what I'm talking about.
We proceed to, we have a little bit more banter with this guy back and forth.
Yeah,
We're
there's a
having
couple
good
more
time.
comments. We get to the end of the film, and we see the Russian guy who he's not the top guy. He's the kind of the second guy, and his family's the one that all got taken out. He's upset.
The Russian population took a hit
Yeah.
during this movie.
And Statham's driving out. He knows he's getting him away. He's getting away. The Russian guy's upset about it. He lets out a. I mean, he is beaker mouth in this yell.
It's
He is just,
amazing. Maddie has a really good one.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time impersonating Muppets.
Uh,
So I go to Millicent. I go, uh-oh. If this goes well, hey guys, everyone in the theater, if this goes well, we're getting a sequel.
Yeah, guys. I prefer a sequel to The Beekeeper, personally.
Yeah, but we'll take what we can get. Our friend next to us, movie ends, he goes, well, we're getting a sequel. I go, that's what I just said. We're in.
We're in. We're
The next
chit-chatting.
10 minutes-
We're yapping. The credits are rolling. We're sitting there yapping, talking about
None
it.
of us getting up.
None of us. He was mentioning some plot holes, and we were like, yeah, nobody
like,
comes
you
to this
gotta-
for the plot. He was like, well, it wasn't as good as The Beekeeper, but and we were
we
like,
agreed,
obviously.
but you can't hold everything to Beekeeper standards.
You
And you don't
can't.
come to Statham
That's not
movies
fair.
for an airtight plot. You come for the Moonlight Sonata.
Come for the Claire de Lune,
You
if
come
you
for
will.
the Claire de Lune. Guys, he then proceeds to say, music to our ears. I would give him a Grammy, if I could, for the song he was about to sing to us, where he says, well, after we've been chit-chatting and bonding over this Statham film, he goes, well, in a year and a half, when Working Man 2 comes back, and then he checks our row number, he goes, row H, seats 1, 3, and 4, I'll see you here. He goes to fist bump me. I'm shaking. I'm so excited. Then we go for more of a hand, and then I go, oh, should we handshake? Then Millicent, here we go. Coming in with this zinger. Come on, brother.
At one point during the movie, when Jason had killed off a lot of guys, and their big guy decided to respect him, he said, "My father taught me to never shake hands sitting down," because he was showing Jason, "All right, I'll let you go because I respect you." They shake hands. I said to him, he goes to shake my hand. I go to lean forward. I said, "You know what? My father taught me to never shake a hand sitting down." And
Guys, I freaked. Guys, it crushed. It crushed with me. I was screaming in this theater, which again, it was a safe space to be doing that. We were so.
He loved it too. We introduced ourselves, Marlon.
We walked down the stairs, still chit chatting. We always. A little twinkle to our lives. We love treating ourselves to a water bottle full of AMC water. Oh, that
stays
hit.
cold for 12 hours,
Oh,
baby.
What a treat.
Tell you, our Brita ain't doing that.
Whatever they got going through those 20 pipes that can make any soda you want, the water, cold. So we're going to see our buddy there in a year and a half. Working Man 2.
We're going to go to every showing on the first weekend just to be sure we hit him.
Just to make sure we get our boy. And when we come back, you guys, we'll talk about how you could be Statham in your own lives.
We're going to tie the prettiest little ribbon you've ever seen on it.
House.
That brought us to our final stop.
Our final stop on this journey of working.
journey of a working man. 24 hours as a working man.
And I'll tell you what, my hands are grubby and grimy, and I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna wash them off at the kitchen sink. I'm gonna sit down for a hot meal.
You best believe
family that
I'm
I
washing
love.
my hands. I'm cleaning up the best I can before I'm hitting
And
that
I'm doing
table.
the
Out of
dishes.
respect, I'm
And
cleaning
I'm
up.
doing
Yeah.
the dishes because I'm working it. I'm still, but the thing is, my woman has been working. Not my woman, my lady, my
not
partner.
my woman.
My partner.
I don't own her.
Not in that way. I'm a working man.
I'm a working man, but I know that she's a working woman. We've made it to our final stop,
Which is a hard truth at times, I think, to take. It can be something that makes you feel powerless. Is the fact? It's a simple fact. We are not all Jason Statham.
It's tough
It's
to remember that when you get out of these movies. You're like, whoa, wow, I'm like Jason Statham. I'm like Jason Statham.
But
you're not. Just because you bought a Carhartt doesn't make you Jason Statham.
Or borrowed one.
Yeah. Or borrowed one from your roommate. Or got a Gap Kids one.
We're not Statham. And I think that's why watching those movies feels so good, because it feels good to just have an outlet of like a good guy is winning.
Yeah.
And also like there is that element of I am obviously not going to inflict that kind of damage on another human being, but it is good to imagine that if it is happening, it's the really
Being
bad
corrected.
guys.
Yeah.
And it's something, it's for a purpose, But
But again, it's a movie.
it's a movie. But
And that's what gets us excited.
that's what gets us excited. But there are still the key thing in that is to not dwell in the powerlessness feeling of like, I can't fly across the world with $50,000 and make it through any barrier of people in front of me. I can't do that. And so that sucks, yeah, but at the same time there are things that we can do, and there are ways that we can engage with and feel at least like we are, rather than shaking a fist at the sky, opening ourselves to the world around us.
We all have a vague army military background that informs and supplies the decisions that we make in our lives and the skills that we have. And we can all give in different ways. Jason Statham's military background, though we don't know what it is, and gave him the abilities to do what he did.
Take out half of the Russian mafia.
That's not my background.
That's not what I'm personally going to be most strong suited for.
My background is mostly that I'm going to be able to like maybe help some kids learn a little bit about improv in themselves.
Yeah.
That's what my background's pulling me towards, but to each their own.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to get at.
There are things that you can do. There are ways that you can be Statham in your own way. There are ways that you can become not just a working man, but a man of action.
That's the core
Man of
of a
action.
working man.
Starting to be like, don't just stop at the I see something and it's upsetting.
Make a
Say,
choice.
well, what can I, like, is there actually something I can do to potentially help with that? And there's 3 different ways that you can there's 3 different action things that you can actually do that don't result in bodily harm to anybody in a very real way.
That are very powerful and like can really help and benefit your community, so I guess the first one that we've like kind of been angling more towards is your buying power. Like you as a person in your day-to-day life, your money matters, and where you spend your money matters. And obviously we are not going to tell you like,
guys, there's so many lists. There's so many lists and there's so many different things. What matters to you? Like figuring out, okay, what's like an actual way, like this thing like this is something that I would like to see different. There's probably a place locally that is not doing the thing that you might disagree with. All that to say,
you can have a little connection with somebody that really is real and lives in your community.
Shop locally. Find like those, if you're going to get a gift for somebody, don't go on try not to go on Amazon.
Yeah.
Maybe head down to the gift shop down the street.
And be like, you're probably going to spend the same amount of money for something that's like more unique and like you get it.
And you get to talk to a store owner or somebody that works there, and that's so fun.
We love a store owner of a trinket shop.
Oh yeah. So your buying power, your money is a way that you can kind of take action in a way that also you're going to be spending money anyways. You have to buy groceries somewhere. You have to do all of this somewhere. And it's like there are sometimes like local options that in a lot of times too are like local place. The produce is so much less expensive and very local, which is really nice. So that's
our
one
first
way.
one.
That's one way that you can kind of just be like, you know what? I see these things that are wrong in the world. Maybe I can't fly across the world to fix an injustice, but I can reach out and do something locally and strengthen the people around me.
I can start with the people I know around me so that we can keep branching out that support.
Keep
this going. Keep this good thing going. So the next one
that you can do, the next thing that you can give if you aren't necessarily able to do it financially, or on top of that, you can give your time. What you spend your time with. Like an hour of volunteering somewhere, places are always looking for volunteers. Always, always, always. If it's going to a food bank and helping organize some cans, like just Google
or
it.
even donating
Research.
stuff like if you don't have, because time is also a very valuable resource. So like say you're already gonna have to go to the grocery store, maybe pick up like an extra can a week and then save that for a month and then drop it off somewhere on your way to work. Like just little things, even getting the practice of exercising your free will to help is such a powerful muscle.
And it just also allows you to take pride in the actions that you're taking too, to kind of be like, okay, I'm not powerless. I'm able to do these small things. And then our last one, which is a little bit different just in that way. I feel like this time it's the first one was your money. The second one's your time. And the third one
is your voice. We feel like we live in a time where it is very easy to feel like there's so much noise and there's so much, especially on the internet. It feels so loud all the time on the internet. I feel like there's so many opinions and so many voices that I think it can feel hard to remember that your voice can be heard and does matter, especially when you take it out of the internet world and bring it into the real world and remember that like this community around you does exist. Your friends, your work, your neighborhood is all things that you can directly affect. So your voice matters. You can we have these representatives in our political systems who are there to represent you. That is their job. And I feel like we, especially in the United States, live in a time where it is easy to forget that is what they do and not that we are like there to serve them. And somewhat it feels like it's been very backwards thinking wise, where it's like these people are put into office to be your voice.
Yeah. And even if you didn't vote for a specific person that's in office, they still have to listen to you. Like they have to at least hear you. They don't they might not necessarily listen, but they can hear you. And at a certain point, if all these people that are in charge of voting for them the next time around are going to be making or have this decision, like it's letting them know, hey, I actually really care about this. I'm actually not going to let this slide without annoying you a little bit.
Because here's the thing. Here's what a lot of politicians love, which is like playing this game of doing what you want so that they can get in office. Great. Make that work in your favor. Tell them what you want. That is what they're there for. If you start telling them one way and saying, you might lose my vote if you don't start doing the things that are empowering and enriching our community, they're going to want to power and enrich the community to save their jobs.
So how can you make your voice heard to a representative? Because you've probably heard people say things like call your representatives, and it's like, okay,
what is that? Where do I go?
I'll be honest, I had one time Googled it, and I'm pretty sure I found like somebody who was out of date, or it was like something like I was just wrong about it.
It's just some guy. It was Domino's.
Just some guy.
Like,
yeah, they're
okay,
like, all right, and I'm reading
want...
off the script. I'm like, my name is Nelson. I'm a constituent from. Got to bleep out my last name. Whoops.
I'll bleep it out.
Don't
worry.
There is a really, really cool app that I heard about through a couple of just different people had shared it on Instagram, and then I looked into it. It's called, is it 5 Calls or Call 5? I think it's 5 Calls.
5 Calls.
And we'll put a little picture of it so you can find it.
It's got a little logo with stars.
This app does it all for you guys.
If you are nervous about like the how-to step, don't
what if I don't know
worry.
what to talk about? Okay.
It will walk you through it.
Guys, you go into the app, you put in your zip code. It pulls up, it then says a list of things that says, what do you care about? And underneath it is everything that is basically like gonna be voted on, or stuff that is coming up that you either like, and it gives you click on each thing, it'll say like a cause about like something like budgeting for XYZ funding. You can then click on it. Once you click on it, it tells you, it walks you through the bill, kind of like what it is, like if you were to oppose it, if you were to be for it, then it takes you down to the bottom. And it has the list of representatives that you can call right there. You click on the representative. It takes you to their phone number. Then on the screen is a literal script to say for that specific issue. It is so easy. And the whole thing is that they say it's like 5 calls. Just do 5 calls a day.
And I think they're each like a minute.
Yeah.
So it's like it takes literally 5 minutes to do this.
And you don't have to follow the script. But,
yeah.
The whole point is you are like tweeting it or making commenting about it at a certain point. Again, you're just shaking a fist at the sky or calling out into a void. No. The void is a person, not to be mean to these people. It's a person who chose to try and get elected into it, and they can listen to you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like allowing you to really target your energy, because so much of taking action is like Jason Statham is targeting his energy.
He knows where he's going. He knows the point of action and how to get there as quick as he wants.
And for him, it's a little bit more black and white. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
He knows
This is
to
very
talk to the
clearly a
guy
bad
dealing
guy.
meth.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna lead to the guy that knows something about the human trafficking. He's got
it's probably gonna
But
domino.
we
effect.
know that these representatives are the way to a lot of these changes.
Yeah. So the whole point is you have more power than you think you do, even if you're not Jason Statham.
And I guess that's your challenge, is to kind of live out your Statham.
Mhm.
Live out whatever that means in your life. Is it reaching out to even a friend? Is it going to a friend's performance or buying a piece of friend's art?
Local community stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, there's a fundraiser down the street for the school and there's a little fair. Okay, I'll go buy
Okay.
cotton candy.
Girl Scout cookies. Oh, a win-win.
We love it. There's so many things you can do. And your
Calling
challenge,
representatives.
yeah, take action this week in some way. Some way. And don't get lost thinking that there's nothing we can do.
Or there's too many things to do. Pick one and let's start.
Let's
go.
Yeah. Don't wait. You just got to put your hand up, catch one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I can do. We're in it now. Let's.
All hands on deck. Let's get to work, baby.
Let's
'Cause
get
we're
to
working,
man,
man.
baby.
Let's go.
And that's
Put in a day's work.
a good day's work. Hey, my father taught me not to shake a hand sitting down.
Ew.
How